Hello, hello everybody, and we are live for another Monday's live stream. And I'm really excited today because I've got Lucy Jackman from Common Sense, who is a blog writing extraordinaire, and she's going to be sharing her top tips for creating social media content from just one blog. And she's got packed full of fantastic ideas, but as per usual, she's going to save the best one to last. So if you've not watched my channel before, I'm Bex from Social Media Executive, and I train companies how to effectively use social media to generate more business. So please do watch my channel, subscribe to my channel, like this video for lots of tips and advice on social media. But today I've got a very special guest, and I'm going to hand you over to Lucy, who's going to introduce herself and share her fantastic tips today all about blogs and social media content. Do you want to introduce yourself, Lucy?
I will. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lucy Jackman from Common Sense. I'm a copywriter, blogger, blog trainer, anything that needs words, basically. I will write it for small businesses and on a freelance basis. So today I am ably assisted by Colin the Comma. You can see here, he's my little mascot. Ooh.
There he is, there.
Wave.
Googly eyes.
Colin is always watching. So he's always on the lookout for grammatical errors, spelling mistakes, typos, you name it, Colin spots it. So be careful when Colin's around. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, and actually that's one of my weaknesses, as you know, Lucy. My my grammar and spelling is not my strength.
A bit of support from Colin.
Yeah. Oh, and Alice has just said hello. She says she's not watched one of the live streams for a while, but she saw this one all about blogs, and she's really looking forward to seeing all the content. And Chris from Trappot Labs as well says hello. Hello, everybody. Again, if you're watching, please do say hello and ask us any questions in the chat, because Lucy is more than happy to answer any questions. Okay. So go on then, Lucy. Tell us what we're going to be talking about today.
So I'm going to share with you my 10 top tips for structuring, formatting, styling, writing blogs in a way that you can generate loads of social media content for your feed. So, I mean, I love blogging. I love training blogging. I love writing them for clients. And the reason is because it's such a valuable tool for building credibility, building trust, showcasing your knowledge, your relevance to people, giving people really valuable bits of information. But not only that, it's also a really efficient way of writing content, because just one post can be turned into so much more. And all you have to do is be really, really clever about how you structure and you write your posts. So should we move on to tip 1?
Yeah, go on. And I was just going to say, this is really brilliant because, do you know what? I mean, I have blogs. In fact, I have my 50th blog written this week. But I do not make enough of those blogs, because actually one blog can create so much content. And I work with so many clients that are writing blogs all the time, but they're not actually all they're doing is doing a post for social media saying, go and read my blog. But you're going to tell us some top tips, aren't you, on how this can be used so much better.
I am. So I think people put a lot of time and effort into writing one blog post. And the great thing is, you don't have to write any more than that, really. You can get loads of content for a few weeks from that one blog post. So you can really use your time effectively. When, as you know, as a small business owner, your time and your resources are limited. So if you can just spend time writing one post and then generate loads more content, then it's just a brilliant, really efficient way of working. So number 1, should we start?
Number 1, let's start. Paul just said hello. Yeah, Paul said hello from someone with zero common sense. Go on then. What's your first top tip, Lucy?
Number 1, I like to call it chunking up. So basic blog post writing. Nobody likes reading a post, just a load of text on your screen that you just have to scroll down and you don't know where you're at and you can't find key points, key messages in the post. So the best way of working is to chunk up your content. And by this, I mean use things like subheadings, put bullet points in there and write in really short paragraphs. So for every point you make, just write it as a single paragraph, and it really helps to kind of put those nice clean breaks in between your lines, and it makes your content a lot more readable as well. So when I was thinking about this stream, I was looking back at some of your own blog posts, Faqs, and looking at Paula Cohen's stream that you did a couple of weeks ago, catching up on that blog because I missed that video. And I've counted up that in that blog, there are 24 points of interest being made in that blog post. So you've actually got 24 social media posts in there that you probably didn't even know about.
Really? Right. I'm going to have to write a note of that. Yeah. Crikey. No, I didn't know that at all. No.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But it's interestingly as well is that I think sometimes my blogs may possibly a little bit, there's too much information, pack too much in. But it's very true to say is when you write a social media post as well, people often write a big chunk of text, don't they, in the social media posts. And people scroll past, they can't be bothered, can they? They can't be bothered. They want to get that information quickly and succinctly as possible.
Exactly. And I think by putting things like subheadings in, people can scroll down the page and find what they're looking for really, really quickly. So it just makes it easier for people to read.
Yeah. Oh, Gary says hi. Hi, Gary.
Hi.
Go on then. What's your next tip then, Lucy?
The next tip's a lovely word, listicles.
Yeah, what is this? I was a bit like, icicles? Listicles.
Yeah, we cover this in my blogging workshop, and everybody's like, listicles? What's a listicle? So a listicle is, you probably come across them all the time. It's where you write a list of items and you number them, basically. It's a list of items. So it's an article made up of a list. So you might have 3 things to know about, 5 things to do this weekend, 10 things you need to know about X, Y, Z. That type of thing. That is a listicle. So I would always suggest writing a minimum of about 3 points, because anything less than that's probably not going to be worth somebody's while to read. But I'm sure we can all come up with at least 5 points that we want to make in a list as part of a blog post. So again, it chunks up the text. It makes it really easy to skim read, you know, people short on time. So listicles are a top tip. Everybody loves them.
And actually, they're really good, actually, because I do a lot of research around YouTube videos as well, and it always says top 3 tips, top 10 tips, 9 things you shouldn't be doing. It helps with your sort of, it just attracts people's attention as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that tip about 9 things you shouldn't be doing is a really important one, because nobody likes to get things wrong.
Yeah.
So if you put, you know, things you need to know about, things you need to stop doing, that type of post, and that's always going to be really engaging content for people.
Yeah, that's one of my most popular ones, was 5 mistakes you could be making on Facebook.
Yeah.
And that's been one of my most popular live streams. So again, if you subscribe to my channel, you can find that video on there. Oh, in fact, Michelle's just said hello.
Hi,
Michelle Ewan. Hi, Michelle. Michelle's been on my live stream last year at some point, helping us get into the media.
Yeah.
Go on then. What's our next top tip, Lucy?
My next one is FAQs, frequently asked questions. So this is where you turn questions that people commonly ask you. So people might phone you, email you, contact you on social media, through your website, asking the same questions all the time. So why not answer them in a blog post? You could put, you know, top 5 questions people ask about common sense, and just turn them into a blog post and answer everybody's questions so that they don't need to keep pestering you in an email. So.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. And then you can just drip feed them out on your social media, can't you?
Exactly. Then you can.
And then because you know they're popular, you know that actually they're going to do quite well on your social media.
Yeah, they're really relevant to people, because if people are asking them all the time, they're things that people want to know and learn about. So you can then turn each one of those questions into an individual social media post. Yeah.
Oh, and Gary's just said he loves it. He's about to launch his Pembo factoids by video soon. So he likes the 1 to 5 idea. So, oh, that's interesting. There you go. A listicle of videos. Brilliant. What's your next one then, Lucy?
Number 4. I call it, WWWWH, which stands for
Which stands for what?
Which stands for who, what, when, where, why, and how. So this is a really good way to structure a post. Say if you've got an event coming up or you've got training coming up, all of the information people need to know, and maybe you're talking about why people should attend your event. It's a really nice way to structure the content so that people are getting all the information they need in a nicely structured way, and then you can just translate the who, what, when, where, why, how into 6 different social media posts talking about your event.
It is. It's really good, and you forget, don't you? What, why, when, how, and that's a really, really, really
Simple
valuable
things.
one. Yeah. Well, Michelle's enjoying these good tips.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. She's so kind.
So we're on now number 5.
Number 5, busting myths. What we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So you are busting myths that people believe about your business, about what you do, about things that you work on. And you can share those myths and actually share the truth, share the actual reality about how that works, what that is, to really showcase that knowledge and experience that you have in your field of work. So trying to think of an example here, is there something that people believe about your sector of industry that's absolutely not true and that you need to put people right on?
Yeah. I know when I first launched mine, it was not necessarily sort of a myth buster, but when I launched my business, everybody thought I managed social media platforms. So I had to change the way my website was, the way I was talking on social media, to sort of be quite clear that I only do training and don't do any social media management. Not really a myth, but it's kind of a vague example. But you're talking about, aren't you, being an expert in your field?
Yeah, and it's a really good opportunity to showcase that and show how much value you can add to people.
Yeah.
What's this from Gary?
So Gary's loving the busting myths idea. He was planning a Belvoir versus Beaver. So Gary owns Belvoir, letting and sales agent in Warrington. So go on, Gary, tell us what a beaver is. We're intrigued. Maybe a beaver. They make their own homes, don't they? I suppose. Maybe. I don't know. I'm guessing now. Go on then. What's our next top tip?
So we're on to number 6 already. So number 6 is how-tos or a checklist post. So I'm always looking online for how-tos. I think that a couple of days ago the plug got stuck in a sink, and we had to look online how to release a plug from a sink. So something as weird and wonderful as that. You could create a blog post which says step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, and then each of those stages of a process forms a social media post. So it's a really good idea if you want to capture people and take them on a journey with you. Because they'll, if you release step 1 on one day, step 2 on another day, step 3 on another day, then everybody will be hanging on your every word and waiting for that next stage on how to do something.
No, that's interesting. And again, I think how-tos are amazing, aren't they? When I first launched my YouTube channel, I did how to verify a Facebook page. And even now it's getting views 2 years on, even though the way I've shown how to do it, you can't do it anymore. Even though I've put, you can't do it this way, you can't do it that way. But how-tos, I'm forever doing it. I mean, it's what people go to, isn't it? It's a great idea.
I mean, a really good example is, I could write something, how to start a blog in 5 easy steps. And then, I could translate those into 5 different posts.
Yeah, and then you're kind of anticipating and sort of titillating your audience, aren't you? So that they won't want to see more and they want to see more.
Yeah. People just crave that information, that usefulness. So think about how you can give them that.
Maybe we should stop the video now and reconvene next week. We should have done a series.
Number 7. This is a really important one. Make 3 points in your posts. So we talked about a minimum of 3 points in a listicle, but there's a theory, I think it's some kind of psychology theory, whereby people can only remember 3 things. So a lot of people, you know, if you've done presentation skills training, for example, and you always get told, you know, summarize your presentation in 3 key messages that people to take up with them. So write about 3 different things, write about a subject, but break it down into 3 sections, and people are more likely to remember that content. But then you've got 3 sections to form 3 posts for your social.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. And I always try and tell all my guests who come on our Mondays live stream, because we've only got really about 15-20 minutes to really kind of summarize it into 3 points. Obviously, we're getting great value today because we're getting 10 off you, Lucy. But I think I must be failing miserably, because apparently we got 24 key points from Paula the other week when she was talking about Facebook groups. But you're absolutely right. You know, people's minds are not big enough to absorb loads of information all at once, are they?
That's true. Yeah. Maybe I should have just done 3 today.
No, I think this is brilliant. Carry on. Next time we'll do it as a series.
So number 8 is top tips. And this is I think when I was reading Tony Longmore's blog on your website, that again, another chat that you had a few weeks ago, I counted at least 20 top tips that Tony had in there for taking product photography, and there's some amazing tips in there. So he definitely needs to put those out on social media and share them with a wider audience. I know some other examples you could do, Bex, you know, tools you need to create engaging social media posts, for example. You could talk about things like, I know you use Hootsuite. We all use Canva for our images, don't we? I'm always recommending royalty-free image sites for people when they want to create imagery for their blogs. And the other thing you need is your course specs. Facebook, if you want to create great social content, that's an important tool. So, you know, that would go in a top tips post. So there's all kinds of things that you could put in a blog post and make those recommendations to people, but then translate that into social, into individual posts.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, isn't it? Because people forget to, and I know I do, I'm terrible. It's like you understand so much in your industry that you forget people don't know the basics. And stuff like that, and sharing just little bits of your insight again helps you show how knowledgeable you are in your sector, and just breaking it down, and also repeating them, because people miss those tips, don't they? Because it's social media, it's
so fast-paced, isn't it? There's no reason why you can't keep reposting that kind of thing and reminding people, you know, what they should be doing. If it's still relevant, then keep posting.
Yeah. Well, Jonathan's just asked, is it good to post your blog posts on LinkedIn articles as well?
Oh, well, this one depends on whether if you're sharing a blog post on your newsfeed as a link to your website, absolutely fine. But if you're thinking of copying and pasting your blog post on your website as a long form LinkedIn article, then that's a bit of a no-no, because Google won't like it. It sees it as plagiarism if it's got identical content in 2 places. So be really careful about copying and pasting.
Oh, that's interesting. And actually, LinkedIn articles, since they changed, now you've got featured posts on LinkedIn. LinkedIn articles visibility has just literally disappeared. You don't, you know, I always recommend don't spend much time writing articles on LinkedIn. They just don't get any visibility. It's much better to put them on your website, your blogs.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the important thing about blogging on your website is that it drives traffic there. And if you want to get people onto your website, then you need to be pushing people in that direction.
Yeah. Paul said he likes how-to and FAQ pages. And he says if you use the correct microformatting in your HTML, it harnesses the data to power AI tech, e.g. Google, Nest, and Alexa. Well, that's interesting. I think Paul's
technical, isn't it?
He is. Paul's a web developer. So, yeah, you're going to have to tell us more about that, Paul. Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Maybe that's another live stream for you.
Yeah. So, yeah, Gary's doing his Pembo factoids. Sounds very robotic.
Fabulous.
Go on then, we're nearly finished, aren't we, Lucy? So we're on number 9.
We're on to number 9. People to follow. So if you've got a really good network locally and you've got loads of people that you know, like, and trust, and you want to share their details and promote them on behalf of your business, then you can create a people to follow post. So you could just do a list of people, why you like them, why they're trustworthy, why people should work with them, why they offer useful sources of information. And then that kind of becomes a bit of a listicle in itself. And you could share each person as a separate social media post, and it's really nice for building a community as well.
Yeah, I love that idea actually, because you can tag people in, can't you? And they really appreciate it, won't they? And they really appreciate you recommending them as well, and being on that sort of list of influencers or well thought out people. I think that's a really nice idea.
Yeah, and there's nothing better than a recommendation, is there?
Yeah, no, definitely not. Yeah. So then our last and final top tip, number 10.
10, and the most exciting one, I think. Number 10 is an A to Z of information. So if you think about an A to Z of anything, you've got 26 posts there, haven't you? 26 letters of the alphabet.
Yeah.
You write something for every letter. You write it in a blog post. 26 points in a blog is quite a hefty, long blog post, which creates long content, which Google really loves. So it's really good for SEO because you can get all those keywords and search terms in there that you want to be found for. And not only that, but with 26 posts, if you post one a week, you've got 6 months worth of content from one blog post. It's just a no-brainer. I'm doing it for a client at the moment, and we're drip feeding this information out every week, and it's just a really easy way to generate content.
That's amazing. I mean, yeah, I'd never even thought of that.
Yeah,
I remember learning the alphabet. I remember I used to have the alphabet on my bedroom wall when I was little. I remember learning it, and now we are doing the alphabet.
Did you have those googly eyes on all the letters?
Yeah, I think they were like little animals. Oh, it was an A to Z of animals, mine was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you have a googly eye one? Yeah. So that, yeah. Oh, Michelle says.
Something to say about the A to Zs. The really important thing with that stuff, I think, if you're going to kind of do one a week, is that you've got to be quite really well planned and organized around it. So, get really strict with yourself. Get a planner, get a sheet, plan it out. Say I'm going to do A, B, C, D the first 4 weeks, and really write stuff in advance, and get all your social posts planned and scheduled if you can as well.
Yeah, no, that's a really good idea, because trying to remember to post one every week, you could literally schedule it all in, couldn't you, and get it all done in one day. Yeah, whilst it's fresh in your mind. So that's been brilliant. Thank you, Lucy. If anyone's got any questions, please do put them in the chat. And again, if you've enjoyed this video, give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for lots of more ideas. So Lucy, if we need more help and support, how's the best way to get hold of you? Because with your fantastic, I know you've got a workshop coming up as well. And what's the best way to contact you?
Yep. So my website, you can contact me through the website. There's a contact form on there. All my social media channels are listed on there as well, so you can connect with me on any of those. And if you visit the training page on my website, I've just released the dates for my next masterclass, business blogging masterclass, which is for small business owners, one-person marketing departments, people who really want to start a blog but don't know where to start. So it gives you all of the tools on how to structure, style your writing, different formats of blog, kind of like we've discussed today, and really helps to give you loads of content ideas and to build up your confidence to keep blogging and continue blogging and do it consistently.
And you've had great reviews from this, and I would definitely highly recommend, because it's all done. You're doing it on Zoom as well now, I think, aren't you?
Yes, I'm keeping it on Zoom for now. So we moved to
Yeah.
Zoom from in person last year, and it worked really, really well. Got some good feedback. So the next course will be the 18th and the 19th of May. So all the information's on the website on that page. Thanks for sharing, Faqs.
It's all right. You're welcome. And how much is it?
It's £95. It's over 2 days. So we do 2 morning sessions, give you some homework at the end of day one, so you don't get off lightly.
Yeah. No, that's brilliant. That's really good value as well. So yeah, if you do need help blogging, again, Lucy will be covering all this in her blogging masterclass, and I would highly recommend it, particularly as it's online because anyone can access it as well. So yeah, have you got any closing thoughts then? That was fantastic.
I would say that, we've talked about how to translate your blog into social media posts, but it works both ways. So if you're stuck for ideas for your blog, then look at your social media content, look at the kind of questions and the kind of comments that people are responding to, which posts have worked really, really well, and use that to inform your content strategy for your blog.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good idea. Yeah, because let your audience tell you what they want to hear about, basically. Yeah, through simple social media and then expand upon it. No, it's really good. And if you need help as well, planning this content, then I do have a social media content planning tool as well, where it's all done on sort of Excel, and you can basically just plan your content, plan it for the month, and then it's a calendar that you can stick on the wall and write down. Once you've written your blog, write down, right, okay, all these tips and when you're going to post it all and what you're going to post it about. So if you do need more help planning and just need a simple tool to put it all down on paper or put it down all in Excel, then do have a look online, and I will put the links below. So I'll put all the links we've talked about today below here. And thank you so much to Lucy, who's been a fantastic guest today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It's been brilliant. And I'll see everybody next week again at 12:30 live for more tips and hints on social media. Please do give this video a thumbs up. Ask any questions below. Even if you're watching this on catch up, we will get back to those comments. So please do put comments below. Let us know what you think. And if you've got any ideas or questions, we'll come back and ask those after the live stream as well. So just to say thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And thanks again to Lucy. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.